The Atlanta Falcons find themselves in a new position under their current regime. They've become the hunted instead of the hunters. And nowhere is the spotlight brighter than on the offense and their new toy, Julio Jones. I sat down with the man who pulled the trigger on this gutsy move, General Manager Thomas Dimitroff. And the big story is Julio Jones, who single-handedly stole the draft spotlight for the Falcons. A lot of people thought you were going to take a defensive guy with that first pick. What went into making that decision?
That decision was multifaceted. We talked ad nauseum about it. We talked 2 and 3 months before the draft that we were talking about getting a very explosive defensive player or a very explosive offensive player. And in the end, we discussed it at so many levels, and we decided that we would have more of a chance, albeit a very monumental move to get up to Julio Jones, that we were going to have more of a chance to get a very impact type explosive player. Well thought out move, high compensation, but we felt it was the right thing for the organization at this time in our development.
And I know you were with New England for a number of years, and when you think about the Patriots, you think about guys that have strong values on the field and off the field. What kind of role does character now play here in Atlanta, and how does that impact the draft process?
Character is very, very big for us. We know that you're going to have some blips in the screen, so to speak. We're going to have our issues here and there. We've made a concerted effort to get the right locker room together so that we can come together. So when there are the issues, when we do have 1 or 2 of the wayward souls that we're trying to bring back into the fold, we have a strong enough locker room that's going to be able to do that. We have a coaching staff who's very mindful of it, and a head coach ultimately who is very mindful of it. So to have the right people in our locker room who are speaking and working very hard on the field, but also speaking out in the community for this organization, we think it can be incredibly beneficial at so many levels.
You mentioned head coach Mike Smith, and the relationship between a GM and a head coach is one of the most important for a team. And I think without question, the relationship that you two have is envied by a lot of teams in the league. How do you do it?
It takes work. Mike Smith and me, I think about it often. I think about how, at least physically, we appear like we're so very different. We have so many similarities as far as our personality. We're very, very competitive. We know what we want to do during our time as general manager and head coach in this league. We know what our goals are. They're internal and sequential. We never want to share those, although cliche. We talk about it a lot, so we're very, very similar. So we will shut this door, and we will have very candid conversations about the direction of the organization, not only how we're going to build the team, the policy on and off the field here. This is Mike Smith and myself standing side by side, picking that proverbial tag off the board or setting the policy together, and we're very mindful of that.
All right, so success. This year, the Falcons are the hunted. Peter King just picked the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. Do you love that? Do you hate it? What do those expectations mean to you?
Those expectations they're media driven, they're fan base driven, and obviously the fan base wants to see that. Peter King is a very adept writer, and he knows he has much insight, so we appreciate his insight. That said, this is about how we are developing as a team and how we're coming together. Again, I hate to throw out the cliches in this league because we hear it all the time. There is no way we're going to achieve our ultimate goal if we don't take care of our business. I feel very comfortable with the talent we have on this team, obviously the coaching staff and what we're doing as far as building this team, and the firepower we have offensively and defensively. We still have much work to do as far as our evolution, and I'm hoping as we go through this season we'll continue to grow, we'll continue to mature, we'll continue to have fast starts and really strong finishes. That's very important for us to be successful.
All right, I got to ask a cliche personal question. Would you have ever have seen your life taking this path, or would you have ever anticipated this kind of success?
No, I wouldn't. I knew that there might be opportunities having been involved with the New England Patriots. We all know that. By the virtues of successes and organizations, opportunities are presented. I think about it quite often. The idea of sitting in front of Arthur Blank, the co-founder of Home Depot, and pitching my world as a potential general manager, for the Atlanta Falcons is something that I would never have grasped. I'd always been preparing. I've been preparing my proverbial book for years and years about what I would do and how I would adjust if I were ever to be sitting in this seat. The one thing I think needs to be stressed, though, I think both Mike Smith and I believe very firmly in the idea of making sure that this is an enjoyable journey, that we want to have fun doing this. Neither of us would be in this position if we thought this was drudgery. There are going to be some tough times, there are going to be some difficult times, but in the end, we want people to have a hop in their step and enjoy this. And we believe that we're succeeding in that department.
Thomas, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Falcons do this year.
Thank you so much.